Hey, good afternoon, good evening, guys. Welcome to openshutter Live this Wednesday night. As usual, we're here. We're gonna go through a few stuff: photography tips, tips and trips, editing styles. We put out a call for viewers to submit images last week, and we have some images that we're going to go through and edit. And we've already edited them, but we're going to walk you guys through our editing process, our thoughts behind the whole process, and what we do and why we chose to edit certain pictures in a certain way. So it's going to be a fun night. The gangs are here. They're all here with me.
Hi.
So we're going to go ahead and we're going to introduce ourselves, starting from the guy in the top, the Texas guy.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's channel. Did I say today? Welcome to today's show. This is openshutter. Today we are going to edit pictures that you have sent us, and some of us did our due diligence and edited in advance. Others are probably editing right now. I don't know. So we'll see about that. My name is Salom. The business name is Meek Photos, and I'm in Texas, and I'm a portrait and wedding photographer. So if you need a photographer or you just want to collab and you are nearby, let me know.
It's good pitch, man.
Hello, Kim. Hello, Pelicabucks. Oh, that's Rachel.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, Kim. Yeah, thanks, Evans, for putting this together. Thanks, everyone, for sending your photos. We got some really cool photos to go through. And I think the great thing about photography is you're going to see different approaches on the same photo, and you're going to be able to see some different ideas, tips and tricks. And, again, I always say editing is a very personal preference, and there is really no right or wrong answer, but it should be fun. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Paul, live in Toronto, run a photography meetup group called Get Out Shoot Toronto. Visit us at getoutshoot.com, and make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to these guys' channels, because we do a bunch of crazy random things in our channel, but it's a lot of fun, and that's what it's all about, because if you're not having fun, then what's the point, right? So yeah, thanks everyone for jumping on the show tonight, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
And if you don't know me, my name is Brian James. You can see my IG handle just below. I was born with this God-given talent that comes from these eye bags here, where it always looks like I'm tired.
Yeah.
But these are actually light meters. And people, capture the very best shots all the time. Anyways, this is another fun show. We always have fun doing this, so we get to edit people's photos and maybe give a little critique here and there. And yeah, I found out today I was published in the Buffalo News. I have a photo book coming out.
Congratulations!
Should be early next year, and so my story got picked up and it's gone a few places, so that's pretty cool. So look for me. That'll be coming out maybe in a month or two.
Is the book done?
It's not done. It's like so right now I have it all laid out with the photos, because I have writing along with it too, so I have like all the photos laid out, and I'm just having a hard time putting it together in which order I want, and then I got to work on the binding, so I'm still a couple months out. But
that's exciting.
Yeah,
like a baby.
Like a baby.
Okay, so since I'm hosting, I guess it's fair that I start. So I'm going to share my first two images, talk about them, and then we'll go around the table and do two images at a time. So then we'll see how we go. So I'm going to share my screen.
Let's do it. Also, if you guys have questions, like certain specific questions, please ask, because this is also for you guys. This is from Marielle. I don't know, is Marielle on? I'm not sure. If you're on, Marielle, say hi.
Yeah, so as we go through, if you have any questions, comments, please leave them in the chats, and we'll do our best to go through the chats from time to time. So this image here, I'm going to show you guys the before. So this is the before. There's a couple of things I did to it. Starting from the crop, I had to crop it a little bit because it was a little crooked for my liking. So I cropped it. And if I turn off all of my edits, let me turn off, I think I did a few edits here. What I have done is, because the image looked a little bit too kind of orangey, the colors were a little bit off to me. So I started off doing a little bit of correction here. Doing the white balance, I pushed it all the way off, right? And I'll tell you guys why I did that a little bit, because the colors were completely off. So if I go back, this is a shot, a little bit underexposed, the colors are okay. I push the white balance, right? I adjusted them. And to counterbalance that, I use the curves. You may not see the curves because I didn't use the point curve. I used the metric points here. So if you in case you don't know, in Lightroom, you in effect have two curves, right? So you could use the sliders here for the curve, and you can also use the point curve, and you can actually combine the two. So in some edits, I actually combined both curves and use that way. In this one, I didn't use that both. I just used the sliders here for my curve, and that got me to that. So I went to the Hsl tab, and this is what I did at the Hsl tab. I just brought down and toned down most of the colors. Brought down most of them, the saturation, played around with the saturation hue sliders to bring it to this for my color grade, right? Right now, with a new version of Photoshop, you also have, outside of the Hsl and the color tab, you also now have the color grading tab. I did not do any color grading in this tab for this particular image, but as we go through, there's one image where I try to show some of the latest features. So I had used the color grading tab. So I'll show you guys in one of the other images as we go forward how you can use the color grading tab as well. So just if you're wondering, the what we used to call it, it used to be the somebody help me out. I forgot the name of the old tool that we had there in place of the color grading.
The HSL sliders are still.
No, I think it was the split tone. Yeah, the split
tones.
Yeah. So the split tone is gone. That split tone was, for me, it wasn't really. It was okay, but not really useful. My
bread and butter was not split tone.
Yeah, but with you still get the effect of the split tone, except that now you have more control.
Yeah,
if you
actually have color grading cycles.
If you have an old preset that uses split tones, it's still going to work, but it's still going to work behind the scenes.
Yeah. So that's basically what I did, and then I always end up with the calibration tab. Calibration is my thing, so this is most of the time I always start my edits from the calibration tab, shifting the primary colors around. In this case, I only shifted the primary reds a little bit, just to give that final color a little bit more pop. Right. I'm going to go on to the second image that I edited here. This image, I had a little bit of a hard time playing around with it because the colors were a little bit not so great at the beginning. I'm going to show you guys. This is the before. You can see all the tints of color in her, skin. The color is everywhere. The white balance, it's everywhere, and there's a mixture of different kind of lighting scenarios on it. So same way, I kind of cooled it down a bit with the white balance, increase a little bit here and there. Let me go back. So I muted it a little bit so I can get her skin tone to kind of match a little bit more with the back of the trees. And the same thing, I'm just using the curves here.
Yeah.
Right. I'm using the point curve in this case. Just a subtle curve with the faded shadows. And then the Hsl color tab. Right. So this is before the Hsl and the color adjustments. And this is what you get with the color adjustment. I wanted the skin tone to pop a little bit more, and also try to take away some of the yellow cast that was on her face. Right. That's what I did over here. For this one, I don't think I did much in the color grading section. I didn't use color grading on this one. I then did a little bit of adjustments in the calibration right here. Going for that kind of teal and orange kind of look.
Yeah.
right? So this is without it, and this is with it, right? Just brings in that teal and orange, make the skin color pop out and stand out a little bit more.
Yeah, I think to me, it's like, I don't know. She's not looking at the camera, so you're not really capturing her. I think if she's looking at the camera, I think it'd be a totally different photo.
Yeah, if there was a little bit of eye contact,
Your
it would
eyes.
have added more emotion to the image, right? So
It's interesting.
so yeah, those are my first two edits. Who was to go next?
You're a hard person to follow, man. Oh man.
I don't care.
Go.
You're gonna.
You want to go, Brian?
Go ahead, Paul.
I don't want to, but I'll go anyway. So let me do this real quick.
Oh, hey, Rays of Life, how are you doing, man? I can't believe you're here. Thanks for joining us, guys, all the way in Ghana. Thought we'll be sleeping by now.
Really?
Hey, Masa Koda. It means go to sleep.
Okay, so Mr. Brian James, who's sharing the screen next?
I was gonna do it.
All right. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna share Paul's screen.
Oh, I just did it. Okay, never mind. Okay, you do it.
Oh no, you share your screen and I will let it on.
Yeah. Sorry, it's my first time doing this.
Okay, so here we go.
You guys have it?
All right. Yep. We're
Cool.
good.
This is the if Marielle's on, I don't know if she's on, but this is from her. So I kind of did a similar approach to Evan's, where to me it's for me it's about capturing a mood. Like when I'm editing a photo, it's like I want to capture mood, and obviously this is kind of like a warm moment, so I kind of want to make the photo warm. I'm not sure if I did the crop right. I kind of cropped out the chandelier, so I may want to revise that. But I kind of want to zoom into the couple.
I did the same. Well, I did the same. I have almost the exact same crop.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, maybe keep the chandelier in, but to me, it's like I kind of want to get rid of the chairs as much as possible and zoom in on the couple more, just to kind of get that moment, bring that moment more in focus, I think. So what did I do here? I bumped up the contrast. So, I mean, again, like the very first thing, I think I've said this before in other shows, but the very first thing I do is I want to make sure the photo was level. Like it's such a basic thing, but there's nothing worse than having a photo that's not level. So that's the very first thing I do. And then I probably said this in other shows, but I always click the auto edit because it just gives me an idea of where I can go with the photo. And then from there, I can start to edit. Again, editing is a very personal preference. I bumped up the contrast a lot on this one. You see if I move the contrast the other way, you just lose the detail. So you kind of want to bring that contrast up, maybe just bring it down more. Right, highlights too. You can go all the way. You can just play around with this stuff, see what you like. For this one, I put the dehaze. I like dehaze a lot. It just adds a little bit more detail to the photo because when I go the other way on the slider, it washes it out, and then you can bring it. Boom, looks a little better. Vibrant also. But the key with this photo to me was I actually used a preset in Lightroom, and it was the matte. It was the matte. So you see how it just kind of adds kind of like a vintage feel to it. I don't know. What do you guys think about this preset? Is it too much?
It crushes the black. I mean, I like it. I know I've heard like Frono's photos. He tears this apart because he doesn't like when a black is not actually black, because now the blacks aren't necessarily black anymore. They're very dark gray.
Yeah.
Right? I think it's a cool look, and like you said, it does make it look vintage. So I make some of my photos in kind of a matte too. I did one of my black and whites in kind of a matte finish as well. So it's personal.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's got that Polaroid feel to it.
Yeah, personally, I like well, not for every image, but most of my images, I always end up fading the blacks. I may not fade it as much as in this edit, but I like that. I sometimes I want to preserve that little bit of detail in the shadows, right? So when I don't like to crush the blacks so much. I like to lift them up a little bit so I can get some little bit of details left in that shadow area.
We have to watch our time. We're only going to get through a couple photos.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Slow down, guys. Slow down.
Why you're not ready?
All you got to do is the first two photos.
You're not ready for something? So my pick on this one is don't be afraid to look at the Lightroom preset, because sometimes they can take your photo to places that you never thought they would be able to go to.
Oh wait, that image was from the girl that shoots film?
Camariel, yeah. Camariel, is she on?
Nice one. Yeah, she's on.
Okay, great. Thanks, Marielle, for sending.
Did you do the one by the tree as well, or no?
I did. You want me to do that one? You go.
All right.
You go.
Share my screen.
Oh, by the way, if you want these photos, guys, like the people that took them, just we will send them to you.
Yeah, if you want the edited versions that we did, we can send them to you.
So this was the beginning photo. And actually, Marielle, if you're in here, yeah, you are. When I first saw it, I was like, what am I going to do with this? But as it turns out, I think this was probably my favorite or my second favorite photo. So let me move over to, that's what I came up with.
Yeah, right.
So I leveled the photo as well. I cropped in a little bit from I thought there was too much on the top, and I wanted the focus to be on the people.
Yeah,
so
you want to focus on the moment.
This time I used my Silver Queen preset, which is kind of an orange and gray, if you will. And then I went into, I'm sorry, I'm still in full screen mode here. Then I went into my HSL sliders. It's funny because I lifted my contrast about the same as Paul. Right. Unlike Evans, I left my white balance as shot, and then I adjust from there. That's just how I do it. I like to bring down saturation. I don't like to have overly saturated photos. You can see my tone curve is just gentle. I didn't do the S here.
No S.
Now normally in this preset, most of these are just completely off. But to make the photo more interesting, I just brought out a little bit of blue in her dress and some red in her lips. And then this kind of brought out these pictures a little bit because they were initially when I edited, there was no color whatsoever. So yeah, you can see that's my crop.
Yeah. You took out the channel area.
Then I went with I did a little bit of a vignette, and then I went with a paintbrush and I brushed in the two people here and just brought up the shadows a little bit and a tiny bit of exposure just to make them pop. So,
Good
thank you, Marielle, for sending that in. I really like that one. And then I was going to go into Photoshop and add some light, but my photos, I don't know, nothing's working. So to go into the second photo, I didn't mind so much as she was looking down, but I noticed there's a lot of texture in her face, which is fine. She's a pretty girl, but my issue is when you shoot a dark skin model or individual next to a tree, I feel like you kind of get lost here. So I really tried to separate the two. Separate her from the tree. So it's kind of a dark, moody vibe. I touched up the skin, got rid of the blemishes, a little frequency separation. Then I used the paintbrush, and then I messed with this tree to make it different so that she could stand out. So I wanted there to be separation between her and the tree. So
it's good now.
Uh-huh.
That is that one.
So on this image, there is only one comment I wanted to make, right? Because when I was looking at the settings, the metadata of that image, I'm seeing that she's shooting at ISO 1600 and a shutter speed of 1400.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why the image doesn't look as sharp as it should be, because you're outdoors at shutter speed 400, you should be able to bring your ISO down to maybe 200 or even 100 because you're outdoors, right? The shutter speed is way too high for you to be shooting at ISO 1600.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not giving your camera a chance.
Yeah.
There's one of the Four Stooges left that hasn't presented.
All right. Let me share my screen. I hope you don't mind. All right. So
Thanks,
here.
Appreciate it.
Okay. So I'm gonna start with this one. And so this is the before and this is the after. That's it. All right, next picture. All right, so pretty much almost like what a bunch of you did. I cropped it in, but I tried to let me come this way. Let's see. All right, let me hit F here. All right, but I tried to maintain as much of the height, as much of the chandelier as possible.
Right.
So I kept it a little tall. I wish I could have done more, but otherwise I couldn't get this to be straight. And I like my colors, so I brought out the colors, but I didn't really like the blues, the yellows rather. So the over here with the individual colors on this side, I brought out the saturation of the yellows, the saturation of the greens, and those were the colors in the background. If you look at the before, when you oh, I'm hearing an echo. All right, yeah, when you up the exposure, you see that it's the greens and the yellows that are making the background this dull. So I wanted it to be a little bit more light so that they pop out. And that's what I did. I had to bring the saturation of the blues down a little bit because down here in the calibration, I had upped this blue by a lot. And when you up this blue, it affects almost all the colors in here. And I wanted their skin to also pop. I wanted them to pop out of the picture a lot more because of all the stuff going on in the background. So I upped the reds too. But one trick that you can also use to make skin pop easily is to bring up the oranges. And this works much better on lighter skinned people. And with very little effort, like they'll pop a little bit more out there. So that's pretty much what I did. No complicated curves or anything.
You just did that in 2 minutes?
What?
You just did that in 2 minutes?
Probably, I don't know. All right, now let me talk about the next one, which you guys have all spoken about, and I think mine is pretty different. Okay, so this one. I actually took this one to Photoshop right quick because of the new neural filters, right? So all I did was, I mean, it's actually not bad. So this is the Photoshop image, right? Let me show you where I was in Lightroom before I took it to Photoshop. I probably can compare here. I don't know. Okay, this is where I edited in. This is where I started. Yeah, this is where I started from on the left, and this is how far I got in Lightroom, and then when I went to Photoshop, this is what I ended up with. Now, I don't want to zoom in. I don't want to zoom into this image because it was pretty high, and if you zoom in, you start seeing too much noise. I did a little bit of noise reduction, but pretty much. And then one thing I did when I came back to Lightroom was I added blues in the shadows, and I hold on. So when you go to Photoshop and you come back, right now you have two different Lightroom adjustments that you've done to the image. So over here in the highlights, I added orange in the highlights because the sun that was hitting her face was too yellow. The original image was too yellow, so I didn't want the yellow. I prefer the orange, so it looked more like a sunset feel and not just direct. Yeah, so that's what I did then. I think that helped. And then in the shadows on this side, you can see I pulled it towards the blues just a little bit, just to blend this out some more. And yeah, that's pretty much all I did for those two images.
It's good, man.
All right.
Awesome.
It's good stuff.
Right.
Okay, guys, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up as you come in. I'm going to share my next edit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this image, I think it's submitted by Abdul. Abdul is not live today because he's on the plane.
Oh no.
He's heading out of town to go to his brother's wedding.
Cool.
But he said he's gonna watch later
Watch on the
and
plane,
see what
man.
we critic on his image. So, so this is this is my Lightroom edit. This is the original that we got.
Yeah.
Evan, before you get into it, I just want to know, because it's a little hard to see on the monitor, but did you have like some kind of artifacts or like banding in the sky?
No.
Mine was pretty bad banding. I was wondering. Okay, it still hasn't gone away. Okay, go ahead.
Didn't really see much of a banding in the sky. I just didn't like the sky because it was kind of too plain. Maybe I could have brought up the colors a little bit. I like the framing a little bit, except that there's too much of a dead space on the right hand side. But it is what it is. So I left it like that. I like the curving of the landscape here coming into the shore, which is pretty good. So I did a few minor adjustments in Lightroom to bring it to this. And then I took it into Photoshop, where I replaced the sky with one click and gave it some, kind of light. Give it some light in the sky. If you want to know how to do that, I just put out a video this afternoon on using the all new sky replacement feature in Photoshop, right? So check that out.
I gotta critique you though here.
Yep, go ahead.
Because the sky doesn't match the water now. So you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like you should have flipped it, mirrored it, overlaid some colors.
Yep.
Yeah, but probably for sake of time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Normally you look at the direction of the light and flip the sky to match the direction of the light in the original image. Yeah.
Just cut that out, free transform, flip it, and then
actually the sky replacement tool does it for you automatically.
Yeah.
Does it really?
It has the options for that.
Flip.
Yeah.
The only thing it doesn't have is the reflection.
I'm gonna be out of a job soon.
But you know something though, I have. Oh, sorry, Evans. Real quick, I have good news for Luminar, because there was one image that I tried to do the sky replacement on, and Photoshop said no sky detected because I shot it from a very low angle. But then when I did it in Luminar, it detected the sky and it worked. So I might actually make a video on that using that image. Photoshop is gonna come for my neck.
Okay, so the next image I want to show would be this one. Paul, do you know who sent this one?
It's Mariel.
That's the girl that should film. Yep. So this image I liked a lot. It had a vintage vibe to it. So this is the original, right? I wanted to go with a vintage vibe in the edit, because of the flower on her hair and the dress kind of thing, kind of gives me that vintage vibe. So basically what I did to this was, if I turn off all the stuff, I just made some minor adjustments here. I added the curve right here. So the curve did most of the job, right? And then in the color grading section, I put a little bit of blues, right, in the shadows,
right?
Just a little bit, not too much, right? So you can see all the reds in there, and then the color grading kind of balances it out by putting that blue in the shadows. And then a little bit of sharpening, just 32, not too much. Then you have the, sorry, I think I skipped the HSL and the color tab, where I played around a little bit, pushing colors here and there. And that's the effect of that, right? Just bringing in the oranges in the dress and in the grass.
Right.
Played around with a lot of the colors. And then the last piece for me was just the calibration. Play around with the color toning in the calibration tab. And I think I put a little bit of a vignette on it as well, just about 5. Right.
It's a cool photo. Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool photo.
Yeah.
I wonder where's that taken, Marielle? Was it in Toronto? Doesn't look familiar. Okay. Very cool. Very cool.
Very cool. I like that image. This was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
In the set. So
thanks for sending, Marielle. You want me to go?
Yep.
Sure. We'll do this one. You got me?
Yep, you're up.
Cool. So for this one, I just found it a little bit too dark. So what I essentially did was I used a grad filter on the sky. Again, there's no sky replacement here. I just kind of played around with the sliders to kind of bring out some detail in the sky. I made it a little bit purple too, just a little bit, right? A little bit too much. And I also used a grad filter on the side to bring out the trees, because I think the trees make the photo, so I want people to be able to see the color of the trees. So I used a mask or a filter to bring out the color, and then I used a mask on the beach side to kind of separate the tide from the rest of the rocks, to kind of make a little bit of a separation there. And that's what I kind of came up with, because I don't know, before it was a little bit too dark. I mean, you couldn't really, then nothing really popped out to me. So that's why I kind of brought out the trees. But yeah, this is probably a photo that you want to use sky replacement. What do you guys think? You guys hate it?
I like the colors of the trees.
Yeah, you brought out a lot in the trees.
My issue is when you painted in the trees, which is fine. I don't think you masked it correctly, because there's too much light coming from behind the trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the exposure is too high there, so that looks unnatural to me. So I would go back with the, I don't know if you use a Mac, but the Alt key, and then go back and try to paint that back in.
Yep.
Yeah.
True.
I was gonna say, because behind the tree, it looks like there was a bright kind of
there's a wedding there.
line. Yeah.
This is also Toronto here in the background.
Yep.
That's Toronto right there.
All right, next one, Paul.
Which one do I have? Should I do? Let me see. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll do. Let me do this one. I'll do a different one. This is also Oakville. You guys got that?
Yep.
Cool. So, two things with this photo. I cropped it on the left because there was a garbage can.
Yeah, I did the same.
There's a garbage can like right here, so I need to get that out. And also this traffic sign right here, didn't like it, so I needed to. But the thing was, I like these. There's this tree here that I really like that I wanted to include, but this traffic sign was in the way, so I had to decide just to like omit everything. So I don't really love this crop, to be honest with you, because it doesn't have the same effect. So what I did essentially with this photo, because let me see the before. So that's the before, and the light trails aren't a full light trail, so don't really like that. So what I did was for this guy, I went to my color tab. My Mac is super slow. And then I essentially why is that not showing that? Anyway, I essentially desaturated all the other colors except for the red and the yellow to kind of make it that look. And then I also added the matte mask again because I think this is the, yeah. So let me just, I don't know, why did that come out? I'm going to do it again real quick. Because also what I love are these traffic lights too, because there's a nice symmetry. So let's just do. So you kind of get like a Polaroid look again, like the other photo that I showed to you. But just because the light trails weren't exactly a full light trail, it just didn't really do it for me. But
yeah,
I don't know.
So personally, for a shot like this,
Yeah.
I would have done compositing if I'm shooting it because the light trails doesn't look complete and they look like, you know, so I would do maybe 2 or 3 shots, combine them in Photoshop, and then, you know, just use maybe overlay or something like that to get just the lights in, and then you will have a better shot because the light trails will be complete.
True.
Put me on the screen, Mac. Put me on the screen.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Where you at?
Who sent this in, Paul?
This one is also from Abdul.
Yeah.
All right, listen. I disagree with the other photographers. I like partial light trails.
Really?
Because I do. Let's see. What was the shutter speed? Can we see shutter speed here?
One more eye.
2.5 seconds. I would have liked if there was more separation here. So if there was a light trail, light trail. However, I like it. I dig it. I think it's cool. So this was your before, and this is what I came up with after. In a way similar to Paul, I used one of my presets again, my Silver Queen preset, and I didn't crop this out completely because I wanted to have the tree as well, Paul.
Yeah.
But it was too much work, and I didn't feel like the eyes were going to be drawn there too much. As a matter of fact, I could probably take. Let's just see if this works real quick. I just thought of it, so let's bring that in and I don't know if I like that, but anyways, you get the idea. So my preset also kind of has a little bit of a matte finish to it as well, but I thought that photo was cool. Not so bad. So the other photo you sent in that you just reviewed, this was the initial photo. To be completely honest with you, I didn't love this photo at all. I had some banding issues up here too, and I don't know why. That's just for me. But first thing I did was level the photo. Yeah. And then, like Paul, I played with the colors. As a matter of fact, now that I'm looking at it, I'm gonna get rid of the vignette. I don't like the vignette. I painted all the rocks and the trees, and this photo just doesn't do it for me. So I'm not gonna spend any more time on that. Evans talked about this photo. I like the photo as it was, honestly. It's
a good photo.
It's not my style of editing, so I did, of course, edit it into my style. This looks to me like Pennsylvania or something. It looks like.
Marielle said it's in Danville, Pennsylvania. She said.
Oh, okay.
Yo, Danville.
How do you know Pennsylvania so well?
Well, I lived in Virginia for a long time, and I drove through Pennsylvania like at least once a month. So, and I always see these bridges and things like this. My thing with this, and I did like the bridge, but I made it into an 8x10 crop, and one of the issues I had here was I just don't like when people cut off at the ankles. Yeah, I like to be a little bit higher than that, just so she doesn't look like an amputee, and clearly she's not an amputee. Other than that, the photo is very pretty, but I had to make it my own Mr. Brian James type edit. So I made it moody as always. Yeah. This is my Cookie Monster preset, but I made it dark and moody, and then I went and I just painted the highlights
Right.
on her skin and on her face, and just tried to make her pop a little bit. So,
Yeah.
And guys, don't forget that for a limited time, you can get Mr. Brian's presets for free.
Wow.
Very soon, we'll start selling them. So
Limited time is
go get it now, right?
I give you a couple. I give you a couple. I don't give you the. That's it for me.
That's a good
All
one.
right. So let me. Oh, Meeks, you're up.
Yes, it's my turn. Okay. Share screen. How do you share screen again? Right here.
You press Control Alt Delete.
Control Alt F4. All right. So this is my edit. I like my colors, and I saw a lot of opportunity to see when I'm editing pictures that don't involve people, I have this level of freedom that I normally don't give myself when I'm editing portraits, because I'm not watching out for skins or stuff like that. So yeah, so for this picture, let's look at it before and after. You know, I like that we all have like different styles over here. So
that's what it's about.
it looks okay. So this is where it started
the beauty
from.
of the show.
Yeah. So this is where it started from, and this is where we are at now. Now, what I did here was, I brought out the contrast by a lot, and I brought out the shadows by a lot too, because I felt like this was just way too dark. I wanted some of the light to come up here, and then I had a custom brush, which I brushed over the. Oh, I had a few custom brushes. So let's look at the first one up here. What did I do with this one? This one, exposure and then a little bit contrast, and then I opened up the shadows with this first brush. As you can see, this is the mask for that first brush. I didn't add any more exposure to the lights down here. And then the second brush, I just upped the highlights on that because I wanted these starlights to pop. So let's do a quick before and after. Before, after. You see that before?
Yeah.
So just so the light popped up a little bit. And then
Kim just wrote that she likes the stars, and so for any beginners that are watching, he shot this at f13. So the higher that your f-stop is, the more burst you'll get, if you will.
F13, F16.
All right, and for the
good job, man.
Bottom part, I added quite a little bit of a clarity, just to kind of mimic like the wet street, and I don't know if it did a good job, but hey, that's what I did. And that's about it for this image. And now the next image here, which is one of my favorites. So this image, I think just like Brian had mentioned, I don't even know why I cropped it a little bit higher, but the way Brian spoke about it, I'm like, okay, maybe I had a feeling the crop was just not right. So probably did that. And then right up here, there was an opening in the sky. Oh, let me do the before and after so that you guys can see. So this opening in the sky, I did a little spot this thing here. It was a real quick thing. So guys, I started editing my pictures when the show started, okay? Confession.
Believe me, everyone knows. Everyone can tell.
All right. So I wanted to fill that in. And this was I didn't just turn this to black and white. I actually put in a lot of thought into this. So if I had just turned this into black and white, she wouldn't pop that easily. First of all, you got to look at the prominent colors, and the prominent colors in here, you can actually manually lighten those or darken those in black and white. And another feature I used to make this picture pop here was that I actually added a lot of dehaze to it, but I canceled out the dehaze on her face and her hair so that she will become normal and the environment is dehazed, so she pops out. easily, and the environment is kind of like a little haze on the side. So here on the brush that I used to level that, this is the setting on that brush. I added contrast on that brush, and I pushed the dehaze the other way on that brush.
Right.
And
Makes
that
sense.
was for her hair and her face. And
Makes sense.
I think
Yeah,
that, yeah, that's, and one other thing I did, was it for this one? I guess it was for the other one. Okay, all right. I did a little bit of noise reduction here. I usually don't do that for close-up pictures because you don't want everything smoothing, but this kind of picture, it's like the focus is not that much on the face, so you can get away with it. All right. Yeah.
Good job,
right.
man.
Thanks.
Good job, man.
Nice.
Jeez.
Okay. So
This photo's cool.
yeah, who set this one in?
Oh, that was Ishman. I don't know if he's on.
So
Oh,
this
look
one,
what he did, man.
this is the only one I went black and white on. It was okay from right from the beginning. But I looked at his beard and stuff, and I realized that if I could push it more into the black and whites, I can make the beard pop a little bit more and bring out his face a lot more. So I had a lot more contrast added. I opened the shadows almost all the way just to bring out his face. You know, opened up the blacks a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Added more texture because I wanted the texture in his beard to come out a lot more. Did a little bit of small slight S-curve in here just to improve on the contrast. Didn't do any color toning. And then I did my regular, you know, calibration stuff. Just a little slight adjustments in there. Sometimes because it's black and white, you may not see the effect of the calibration and the color tab, but they actually play a lot more role in the black and white images. Because if you just use black and white mix, right, as you can see here, I use this black and white mix to kind of bring out certain colors. Even though it's still black and white, the colors are still there. So you can push, you know, right, those colors to make the black and white image the way you want it. So that's what basically I did with this one. I did a quick black and white conversion on that, and that's what we came up with.
I like what you did, man. I should have done it your way. Oh no.
Okay, so the next one, this image I didn't like. So I gotta be honest.
I didn't like it either. I didn't know what to do with it.
I gotta be honest, because this image was too much for me.
Thank you for sending it in. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for sending it in. Don't feel bad. The whole idea of this is to learn, right? So we don't know best. We don't know. We're not experts of any kind.
I don't show everyone the 50,000 photos I have.
No,
that I don't
exactly.
That I don't even edit, right? But it's for educational purposes, the whole show. And we all try to learn, you know, from ourselves and improve on our craft and grow, right? There's a couple of things here. There's too much happening on this side of the image that really doesn't add to it. The focus seems like it's on this guy or this guy here.
Yeah.
Instead of being on the guy who's facing.
Like, is there a fight going to happen here? Like, why is he's standing in a very conversational way?
Yeah. I get the shot. The shot is more of a like you know, kind of storytelling, journalistic kind of shot, right? Which is okay. But there's a couple of problems. One, this focus is in the wrong spot. Focus should have been on this guy who is right in the frame, right? So he should have been sharper. I could have cropped it a little bit tighter and just leave out some of this. So that's what I did. I tried to crop it a little bit and remove some of the distractions on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
Right. It's by the street, so there's not much you can do about the cars, but that's fine. But there was too much for me. There's too much on the right-hand side. In terms of the edit, I did some basic stuff in the basic tab here. As usual, my regular S curve, right, with the faded shadows, and then played around with the colors a little bit. So that's without my color adjustments, and this is with the color adjustments. Try to make his face pop up a little bit because he was out of focus and he looks like he's the main center of attraction. Try to do something to make him stand out a little bit more.
Yeah.
With the colors. So basically that's all that I did with this image, and then played around with this. Added a slight vignette, not too much, just a little bit, and that was it.
Yeah.
Right.
Nice.
And the last image, this one is also from Abdul. This one, it's okay. Didn't know what much to do with it. Because I don't know what was supposed to be the focal point of the image, right?
That was my issue too. It's like such a shallow depth of field, but you barely got, I don't know what you call those on the flower. Just the outside of it is barely in focus, and the rest is blurry.
Yeah. Just the area right here is in focus, and the rest is blurry. He shot this at f4, so I'm not sure why it might be really close, but I would rather try to get more focus on the stem in the middle here, and have that sharper, right? So, all I did with this was bring out the exposure because it was a little bit dark as well, really underexposed. So I brought up the exposure a lot just to try to bring it out. Did a little bit of a curve in here, right? Just to make it give some contrast. And that was basically what I did for this image.
Yeah. Interesting.
All right, so those ends my images for the day.
Nice.
Well done, sir.
Well done, Evans.
Thank you, guys.
We're
Bravo.
Am I up?
Yep.
Yep.
Let me see. Let's start with this dude. You guys have me?
Yep.
Okay. So I should have done what Evans did. Yeah, I mean, the earphones throw me off a little bit. They're a little bit distracting. So whenever you guys are taking people photos, you want to make sure that there's no distracting elements like these earphones. So what I did was essentially made it warmer because obviously it's summertime because he's not wearing a shirt. So I made it a little bit warmer. I played around with the temperature and the exposure and all that jazz. And what I also did was I used a mask a mask on the sunglasses to bring out more of the reflection. So you see how it's a little bit darker. So I used a mask on the sunglasses to bring out more of the reflection. I think I adjusted the shadows a bit, but I really should have done what Evans did. I think I added a slight vignette also. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool. I mean, I like him as a subject. Like I think he could be like a really interesting person to shoot.
The only thing for me is that the skin looks a little bit oversaturated for my liking.
Yeah. Well, because maybe he's sunburnt.
Yeah.
he hasn't been wearing a shirt all day. Maybe he's a little bit sunburnt. He needs a little bit of aloe vera, you know. But thank you for sending that in, and we'll go to the Fight Club over here. So I cropped it in.
Ooh, nice.
And I tried to. Thanks. Let's see that. So the car. So this person, again, it goes back to making sure that you don't have any distracting elements in your photo. So the car is distracting. This person here at the bottom right is distracting. So that's why I cropped it in. And again, like it just looks like he's going to like say something or do something because he's standing in a very confrontational way. Like look at the way he's standing. He's got his arms kind of like ready to go, and this guy's kind of like saying, "No, don't fight me." And that's why I cropped it in. I basically use again another preset in Lightroom. Which
I
one
think
was it?
I think that's his girlfriend, man. He was like, "Yo, why are you
Maybe.
talking to my girl?"
Maybe, but it was a flat profile in Lightroom, and then I just adjusted again. I bumped up the contrast, I dropped the highlights, I added a slight vignette to kind of get this person on the bottom right not so visible in the photo. The car you can't do much about, and it's kind of, again, when you crop it in, it zeroes in onto this person that looks like he's about to do something. And I try to, again, like Evan said, try to make it kind of like a journalistic type of photo, right? But yeah, if you guys can, like, whenever you guys are shooting, if you guys can avoid the distracting elements, it just makes editing so much easier.
Yeah, I love what you did with this one. It's really nice.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I did not edit the other one, so I think that was about it for me. It's 8:26. Are people tired of hearing us talk?
What the hell happened?
All right. Oh,
Okay. All right.
who's next?
Who that?
Brian.
It's like the Matrix.
Who's? Am I sharing? That wasn't my screen, right?
No, that wasn't yours.
Okay. All right. Let's start. Let me change my photo here. I'm gonna go quick. No, I'll go quick.
Evans, you see what my wife is saying?
I'll go quick.
Let me see.
Beam me up.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, Tim.
Can you see me?
Yes,
I
Mr.
see
Brian
you.
James. There you
All
go.
right. So just like Evan said very quickly, the photo's got good bones to it. It's just not in focus. So this is the only one that I edited in black and white. And because it's in black and white and because it's kind of abstract, if you look here, I did the paintbrush tool, the mask, and I painted this. And where is it? Why isn't it? I swear that's not how I left it. Anyways, I took the clarity, put it way up. I took the texture, I put it way up.
Yeah. I see it. That's what you did.
Because like we need to like I would basically basically I'm faking that that's in focus the best that I can. So try harder next time. That's my advice. Make sure you get that focus. Go to manual focus if you have focus magnifier. Maybe you don't have a macro lens, but maybe you can stand back and get that focus magnifier and make sure, unless it's moving, then that's going to be hard. So then lastly, I'll show you my before and after. This is my favorite photo, I think. I don't know. I like this photo. Paul, I disagree with you about the headphones.
Yeah?
And here's why.
Please.
Here's my edit. I know, figures, right? But just, we have different styles. I brought my whites way down, brought my blacks way up. Went with my orange and gray kind of tones. The reason I like the headphones is this dude is just vibing out. Like he's vibing out. I don't know where he is. I don't know if he's homeless. I don't know if he's just having a good day sitting outside or what, but he's just vibing. So
it's I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
Interesting. Like maybe if he had the earbuds and not the cord, it might be different.
The thing is, yeah, man, but those are expensive, and I don't know if this man is in position to be getting those. These are Samsung. These are Samsung headphones.
Those earbuds will be out of place in this image.
What are you trying to say to Samsung users?
I'm saying Samsung users, you know what I'm talking about. But listen, no, I'm not being a snob. I'm just saying iPhones are better. The thing is, he's got this hooked up to a Sony Walkman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The yellow one. The
yellow one. Yeah.
I had that.
And he's got a mixtape in there.
Yeah, 100%.
Done.
Boom.
All right.
Mix. All right. Looks like I have to knock it out in 1 minute.
You gotta knock it out again. You gotta save it.
I'm going to start with this one.
Share your screen.
This picture, I did not
share your screen.
You gotta share your screen. Or we could just pretend it's the best photo.
We can just pretend. Look at that. Okay, all right, I'm sharing now.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, so this picture, I didn't do anything to it. I I just looked at it and I think it kind of represents the time it was taken. And sometimes you just want subtle, a subtle scenery. And so that's all I did. Nothing. All right. Next picture.
You had one job, man. Just move the contrast a little.
All right.
No,
next.
that picture, I would have corrected the horizon at least.
Hey, why are you guys worrying me? Huh? I'm editing. It was perfect. Okay. All right. Now let's move on. Moving on. All right. So this picture, this was the before, and this is the after. Before and after. No, I didn't crop it. No cropping whatsoever.
Yes, you did.
So
did I?
You can't lie on national. Come on, bro.
Wait, what does it look like? Oh, wait. Let's see. I was looking at it before and after. My bad. Okay, so this. Sorry, guys. This is my my, how do you call it? It's a reflex. Okay, it's my Instagram reflex. When I jump on the portrait, it's going 8x10 before I start editing. All right. So moving on. I use a bunch of. If there's one thing you guys can see here, you see how his glasses are kind of like very bright, right? Now, let's look at the before of that and after. So what I did there was I brushed over the lines. Let me open up whichever brush I used. I used this brush because I have it right on the line. And you can see the orange. So once I brushed over it, I used a pretty big brush because I didn't want to have to spend too much time to have it exact. But to have this effect exactly on that line, what I did was, after I upped my exposure and contrast, I went down here to the range mask. And in the range mask, I picked luminance. And in luminance, I restricted the effect of the brush to only focus on the brighter side. So I moved this guy. If I had left this, it would have affected more of that. So I moved it forward so that it just sticks to the outline. That way I didn't have to be exact in doing that. So I felt that was one little thing that
pro level. That's pro level tip.
Could make the picture a little bit more interesting. And thank you. And yeah, and then I put a bunch other brushes here to just open up the shadows. And I actually did this twice. So if you do something and you want to do the same thing again over the same place, sometimes I prefer to duplicate so that if I think the effect is too much, I'll just delete some of the layers instead of pulling it too far with the one layer. I don't know if that makes sense. So I did duplicate this, I think, once or twice. And yeah, that's pretty much what I did. And I opened the shadows in the whole image. And I know I did a dehaze somewhere. I don't know which of the brushes did the dehaze, but I did dehaze there. This one dehazed the back because it was a little strong. So so that it's not too black. I didn't want solid blacks. So that's it. That's all I did. And thank you guys.
Boom.
Very well done.
Awesome.
Thank you.
It's been a fun time. All right, let's start with Mr. Brian James. Any final words?
I mean, I had a good time. This was fun. Definitely some talent, some good shots that got sent in, and it's interesting to see. I think we'll probably all say that, but it's interesting to see everyone's style is very different. So yeah, that was fun. And if you don't subscribe to me already on YouTube, I'm at 917.
Go.
I'm gaining like 1 or 2 a day. So I'm hoping by Christmas, January 1st.
Yeah, 1,000.
I could earn
Almost there.
Monetize.
Me
I
too.
could earn
Me too.
$30 a month. Meeks, where are you at?
Oh, I'm at about 860. Thereabout.
I thought we were.
Oh yeah, and don't forget, if you want to support the Open Shutter show, you can give some super chats on this channel. You know.
You should have said that at the beginning.
At the beginning, you know, I forgot. I forgot.
That's awesome. Yep. Cool. Thanks so much for everyone's people that sent the photos in. takes a little bit of courage to send photos in, and huge thanks for doing that, because otherwise the show would not happen. And again, editing is a very personal preference. Photography is a very personal preference. Just because we say we don't like something doesn't mean that it's bad. Again, it's very personal. So hopefully the show is to educate people on tips and tricks on things that you don't know. I learned like about 10 things today I didn't even know. So I'm always learning, and that's what the show is about. So hopefully you guys learned something, and hopefully we can do this again sometime this year. Why not?
Awesome mix.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for watching, and it's we are happy. We are very grateful that you guys tune in, because without you guys, we don't have a show. It's just going to be 4 of us talking. We could do it over the phone.
No one wants that.
Nobody wants that. And yes, so do us a big favor and subscribe to our channels. We're all trying to hit the 1,000 subscriber mark and more. We know Evans is already there, so he's slowly leading the way.
Supportive. Like a mafia.
Yeah.
He's my
so
inspiration.
thank you guys.
All right, thank you guys for joining us. Like we say, thank you guys all for giving us the opportunity to edit your images. We truly appreciate you guys. We appreciate you guys participating in this process. Don't take some of the stuff we say to heart on this channel, because it's all meant for us to be learning, right, from each other. So it's an educational show. We educate ourselves and try to learn every week as we discuss and have fun on this channel. So thank you all for joining us. We hope we've been able to impact you guys with something. Everything is subjective in photography. It's an art, right? So
Totally.
different styles, different approaches, but the end result is what matters. As long as you like the end result, you gotta have fun with it. Right.
Have fun.
All right, guys. So stay blessed.
Yeah.
And keep creating. And we're gonna be seeing you guys again next Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern prompt. Check out all our channels. More content's coming out every day, right? So go check it out. Before we go, let's just check. Oh, Pelicabak says great.
Brian
great,
was on, eh? Thanks,
great,
Brian.
keep creating.
You should have jumped on the editing session with us, Brian, because Brian would have.
Oh yeah, Brian is here.
Jim is in Ghana, I think, right? I don't know.
Sorry, who?
Jim.
Oh, Jim, the one that you
Jim.
showed earlier. Yeah.
Oh no, that was Rays of Love.
Oh,
Yeah,
Not that Jim.
he joined us from Ghana. Yes,
We're international, man.
we are international.
We're international.
Yeah.
We're going to be on CNN soon.
Yeah. All right, guys. So stay blessed, and we'll see you next Wednesday with
Peace.
another episode of Open Shutter.
Peace.
all right. Peace, guys.